Hello, I'm the creator of Scaletor, the thermodynamic laboratory of musical scales. In this video, we'll explore the basics of this free and open access program. Let's get started. When you launch Scaletor, the first thing you will see is the About window. Click inside this window to visit Scaletor's GitHub repository, or click outside of it to begin using the program. Scaletor is a catalog of all the 2048 musical scales. A musical scale consists of a bass note. By default, this note is C or Do, together with a set of other notes. You can change the bass note by clicking on any note here in the interface. Scaletor always keeps one scale selected. It is shown in the upper right corner of the interface, outlined in green. By default, the selected scale is the Ionian scale, also known as the major scale, made up of the notes Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. Beneath the selected scale, inside the pink rectangle, are its modes. For the Ionian scale, these include Locrian, Phrygian, Aeolian, Dorian, Mixolydian, and Lydian. One of these modes is always selected. Here it is Locrian, but you can choose any other mode of the selected scale by clicking on it in this area. Press the A key to switch between two ways of displaying the modes, either anchored to the bass note, keeping tonic fixed, or based on the pitch classes of the selected scale, rotating through its different modal variants. If you click the big polygon of the selected mode becomes the selected scale, and in consequence, the format selected scale becomes the selected mode of the new selected scale. Just below the modes, inside the blue rectangle, are the interpolation scales. These are scales related to the selected one by adding or removing notes, excluding the bass note. You can control how many notes are added or removed, called the interpolation step, by clicking these plus and minus buttons. Then, use adjacent navigation buttons to move through the corresponding interpolation scales. You'll also see the total number available for each step. Finally, you can also click the large polygon of the selected interpolation scale to make it the new selected scale. Scaletor organizes all musical scales according to the number of notes they contain, resulting in a histogram called the bell of scales. This vertical histogram, shown in the upper left corner of the interface, represents each scale as a 1-pixel thick horizontal line. For example, the currently selected scale is highlighted in green. Its modes appear in pink, and the interpolation scales are shown in blue. As we'll see, in Scaletor, each scale can be in one of two possible states, on or off. The bottom part of the interface displays the horizontal bell of on scales, where only the scales in the on state are shown as polygons inscribed in circles. When the program starts, all scales are initially on, though only a portion of them is visible at any given time. You can scroll through the full set using the bar at the bottom. As you do, the bright region in the vertical bell will shift to reflect the currently visible section of the horizontal bell. Scaletor lets you visualize scales arranged in circles of intervals, either minor seconds or fifths. By default, scales are displayed in a circle of minor seconds. But you can switch to the circle of fifths by clicking this button. Alright then, let me ask you, have you ever wondered how musical structure can emerge from chaos? That's the driving idea behind Scaletor's Thermodynamic Search Engine, which is based on the Ising model from statistical physics, a model used to explain phase transitions such as freezing, melting, or magnetization. Here is a helpful analogy. Imagine a bucket full of nails. If you shake the bucket long enough, the nails will start to align with one another due to their shape and the shape of their container. At first, the nails are in a chaotic mess, pointing in every direction. But thanks to their long and thin form and the shape of the bucket, they eventually settle into a well-ordered pattern. In Scaletor, the idea is translated to music. We simulate a physical system where musical scales, instead of molecules or atoms or nails, evolve towards structured configurations. In the case of the nails, it's their shape that determines how they interact. Musical scales also have shapes, and they can interact in many different ways, all of which can be described mathematically. Furthermore, the bucket itself can be interpreted in various ways, as a boundary condition with short or long-range effects, or as an external magnetic field influencing the system and affecting its outcomes. The act of shaking is our thermodynamical process, and to start shaking the bucket of musical scales, press this button. Initially, you'll see pure noise, random on-off states of scales. But by setting up the right interactions, you guide the system toward structured musical outcomes. For example, you might prefer scales that contain certain intervals, like thirds or fifths. Or you might study scales as polygons inscribed in a circle, where the center of balance of the shape becomes a relevant feature. These preferences are expressed through Hamiltonian energy functions, which define how scales interact thermodynamically. Scaletor's Interactions Mix console lets you fine-tune the system energies across various musical properties, guiding it to self-organize toward the musical patterns you are interested in. Modeled after an audio mixer, the console is organized into interaction tracks, each representing a specific property of the scales. Each track includes a volume control, a left panning control that adjusts how much the presence of a property is rewarded or penalized, and a right panning control that does the same for the absence of the property, a 12-band equalizer with bands corresponding to the columns of the bell of scales, and a mute button, along with a master volume control for the entire system. Wrapping up, this video was just the first look into the world of Scaletor. There's much more to explore, both musically and mathematically. Thanks for watching, and have fun experimenting with Scaletor, where music, mathematics, and physics come together in harmony.